Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razek at CMTrading. Today is March 8th, 2019, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the major economic events of the day, at 3:30 South African time out of the United States, non-farm payroll numbers coming out, the most important number of the month. So be aware of it. It is coming at 3:30. Simultaneously, at the same time, Canada has an employment change number coming out. Now, obviously, in view and in light of the fact that the non-farm payroll is going to overshadow the Canadian economic number that's coming out. Now, looking at the Canadian dollars and everything else versus the USD has gotten much stronger. The euro sold off sharply yesterday with ECB concerns as to forecasting lower, some of the issues between Italy, Germany, and France, so guiding lower as to the expansion of business there. Now, looking at the indices, well, it didn't help either. The Dow Jones had a sell-off yesterday, selling off all the way down to 25,300-ish level after hitting 26,100 on Monday morning. Okay, so we sold off over 800 points there in the index. Now, looking at gold this morning, just looks like it's starting to perk up to 1293, and oil is really flat. Okay, it's been flat the whole week. Now, lastly, looking at Facebook, which looked like it was going to break out, it didn't break out. It faltered at that resistance and then sold off. We'll take a look at all of these and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're looking here at the Euro USD on a 4-hour chart. And you could see this massive nosedive yesterday from this number of 113.07-ish level all the way down to 111.82-ish. That's where we capitulated. And we're bouncing off of that just mildly right now. 18 pips bounce is not really much of a bounce. But just to give you a perspective, okay, of how much we've sold off, we have to tap into an older time frame. So let's look at a weekly chart right there. You could see that, and we're just hovering a previous consolidation areas, okay, which means that previous to this massive rally that we had at the end of 2017 up here, we had this breakout. This was a really important area. So for us to maintain this and not trade lower is really important, okay? And if we do break this area down here, we could certainly see it go back to the 110-ish level, okay? Very important to understand. So this actually could really close itself off on the downside and continue its sell-off if this continues this momentum, okay? So all eyes are looking at the USD to see if it's going to get stronger. Now, the other pairs have pretty much either have already been factored in. Like if we look at the Aussie USD, just really briefly, you'll see that it's already factored in. It's not selling any further. Okay, it's still trading at that bottom of the range, but it's hasn't broken that support level at 70. Okay, so really important area to understand. This may really be an opportunity for it to bounce, but be careful, because if it does break on the bottom side, all else can fall out. Okay, it's like catching a falling knife. You don't want to be there. Okay, so just be aware of it and be careful when you're trading these areas, okay, because it's at certain support levels, and if it does break, then the floor could give way. Now, looking at the other major symbols versus the dollar, Canadian dollar, we spoke about also, it broke this 133.50-ish level earlier this week. Now, this can continue making its way all the way up to this 136-ish level, not even a question, okay, especially because of what's been going on in Canada. A lot of unrest, politically speaking, with the prime minister due to corruption scandals and all that stuff, and it's not helping the Canadian dollar either, okay, given the current environment that we're in. So this may continue to actually sell off versus the US dollar and get weaker as it goes from 134 to 136-ish level and challenge that upper range. Now, we're not there yet, but we do see that it may challenge it. Now, jumping into that Dow Jones, this is what I was talking about, 25,391. Now, again, you got to jump into a longer time frame to really give it and appreciate it, okay? This is a daily chart. Now, back in November and December, we had this double top right there, and sure enough, we're at that resistance, and we sold off earlier this week down to 25,391. Now, this area that we're trading in right now, this support area, is very important. It was previous resistance one time, and subsequently up here, it was previous resistance as well. So if we do break this 25,388, our next bottom level is 24,900-ish level. Okay, so a couple of options here. All right, this is really a support level. So if it does, sustain it, we could see it bounce. Okay, but if it does break it, these are my targets: 24,969 if it does break it, or 25,800-ish level if it does bounce off of it, depending on the number that we get today. Now, everything could be factored in. The numbers could be great and we still sell off. Okay, so just be careful, all right, because the markets look like they want to continue correcting themselves on the downside. The reason I say that is that if we look here at the gold, we're looking at gold symbol right here. We consolidated earlier this week to 1280, didn't break it further down, and sure enough, when you don't break down, you bounce up. Okay, 1293 right now, but this, factored all in, maybe should be trading around the 1312-ish area, and we may see that actually continue, gaining back some of that real estate it gave up after the Dow Jones made its correction from 21,000 to 26,000. And now that the Dow Jones is selling off, gold may actually revive itself. So be aware that the markets are shifting, the markets are realigning themselves. You just got to be in it to win it. So again, be careful trading that non-farm for payroll number, especially, if you are in a number, you may want to size down, and we spoke about certain strategies that you can apply at the Make Me a Trader program. So be aware of it, just apply those strategies, and you should see a successful day. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.